Salt has been a fundamental part of human civilization for millennia, not just as a vital dietary component, but also as a substance imbued with profound spiritual and symbolic significance. From ancient rituals to religious texts, salt has often been seen as more than just a seasoning. It has been revered, feared, and even worshipped in various cultures around the world. In this exploration, we delve deep into the concept of salt as a spiritual weapon, uncovering the hidden truths of its significance, particularly in the context of the Earth's depth. By the end of this hour, you will have a deeper understanding of why salt is considered powerful, the symbolism it holds, and how it has been used across different cultures and religions. The origins of salt as a spiritual symbol. The spiritual symbolism of salt can be traced back to the earliest human civilizations. In ancient times, salt was a precious commodity, sometimes even more valuable than gold. Its ability to preserve food made it essential for survival, particularly before the advent of refrigeration. This life-sustaining property of salt led to its association with purity, preservation, and incorruptibility. For example, in ancient Egypt, salt was used in mummification, signifying its role in preserving the body for the afterlife. This practice elevated salt to a spiritual plane, where it was seen as a substance that could transcend the boundaries between life and death. Salt in religious texts and rituals. Salt holds a prominent place in various religious texts and rituals. In the Bible, salt is mentioned numerous times, often symbolizing purity, wisdom, and the covenant between God and his people. For instance, in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus refers to his disciples as the salt of the earth, implying their role in preserving the moral fabric of society. In the Old Testament, salt was used in sacrifices as a symbol of the enduring covenant between God and Israel. Similarly, in Hinduism, salt is offered to deities during rituals, symbolizing the essence of life and the preservation of purity. The protective powers of salt. One of the most enduring beliefs about salt is its protective power. Across cultures, salt has been used to ward off evil spirits, negative energy, and bad luck. In some traditions, salt is sprinkled in doorways or around property lines to create a protective barrier. The use of salt in exorcisms, as seen in Catholic and other Christian traditions, further emphasizes its role as a spiritual weapon against malevolent forces. This protective quality is not just limited to folklore, but is also reflected in the practices of modern spiritual healers and practitioners who use salt in cleansing rituals to purify spaces and individuals. Salt and the depth of the earth. The connection between salt and the earth is profound, particularly when we consider the origins of salt. Most of the salt we use comes from the earth, either mined from ancient seabeds or harvested from salt flats. This connection to the earth's depths imbues salt with a unique spiritual significance. The earth itself is often seen as a sacred entity, a source of life and sustenance. Salt, as a substance drawn from the earth's depths, carries with it the energy and power of the earth. This deep connection to the earth is why salt is often used in rituals that seek to ground and stabilize energy, bringing balance and harmony. Salt as a symbol of wisdom and knowledge. In addition to its protective qualities, salt has also been associated with wisdom and knowledge. In ancient Greece, salt was linked to the goddess Athena, who was the goddess of wisdom. The phrase, "worth one's salt," is rooted in the idea that salt was a valuable commodity, and to be worth your salt meant you were knowledgeable and capable. This connection between salt and wisdom is also evident in the way salt is used in spiritual practices. Salt is often seen as a substance that can clarify thoughts, purify intentions, and enhance spiritual awareness. When used in meditation or spiritual rituals, salt is believed to help open the mind to higher knowledge and deeper understanding. The purification power of salt. The purifying power of salt is one of its most recognized spiritual properties. This is evident in the widespread practice of salt water baths, used for cleansing the aura and removing negative energies. In many cultures, salt is dissolved in water and used to purify sacred spaces, objects, and even people. The belief is that salt, with its natural cleansing properties, can absorb and neutralize negativity, leaving behind a purified and positive space. This practice is rooted in the idea that salt, as a mineral, is a pure substance that can return us to a state of spiritual purity. By cleansing the body and mind, salt helps to restore balance and harmony, making it an essential tool in many spiritual practices. Salt in earth-based rituals and magic. Earth-based spiritual traditions, such as Wicca and other forms of neo-paganism, place a strong emphasis on the natural elements, including salt. In these traditions, salt is often used in rituals to represent the element of earth. It is believed that salt's connection to the earth gives it grounding properties, which can be harnessed in rituals to stabilize energy and create a sacred space. Salt is also used in magic to draw protective circles, banish negative influences, and consecrate tools. These practices highlight salt's role as a spiritual weapon that can be wielded to protect, purify, and empower. The role of salt in feng shui. In feng shui, the ancient Chinese practice of harmonizing the environment, salt is used as a tool for cleansing and protection. Feng shui practitioners often place bowls of salt in areas of the home where negative energy accumulates, believing that the salt will absorb and neutralize this energy. This practice is based on the idea that salt, as a natural crystal, has the ability to draw out impurities and restore balance. The use of salt in feng shui underscores its universal role as a spiritual tool that transcends cultural boundaries, offering protection and purification across different belief systems. Salt in modern spirituality. In modern spirituality, the use of salt has continued to evolve, with many people incorporating it into their daily spiritual practices. From salt lamps, which are believed to purify the air and create a calming atmosphere, to Himalayan salt blocks used in cooking for their supposed health benefits, salt has found a new place in the contemporary spiritual landscape. These modern uses of salt are often rooted in ancient beliefs about its purifying and protective properties, showing how the spiritual significance of salt has endured through the ages. The mystical properties of different types of salt. Not all salt is created equal in the spiritual realm. Different types of salt are believed to have different properties and uses. For example, black salt, which is often used in protection and banishing rituals, is believed to be particularly powerful in warding off negativity. Pink Himalayan salt is often associated with healing and purification, while sea salt is commonly used in cleansing rituals due to its natural purity. The variety of salts available today allows practitioners to choose the type of salt that best suits their spiritual needs, further highlighting the versatility and potency of salt as a spiritual tool. The hidden truth of salt in the depth of the earth. As we explore the hidden truths of salt, it's essential to consider its geological origins. Salt deposits, formed from the evaporation of ancient seas, lie deep within the earth, often hidden beneath layers of rock and sediment. These deposits have been mined for centuries, providing humanity with this precious mineral. The fact that salt is drawn from the earth's depths adds a layer of mystery and power to its spiritual significance. It's as if salt carries with it the ancient wisdom of the earth, preserved and concentrated over millennia. This deep connection to the earth makes salt a unique spiritual weapon, one that is rooted in the very fabric of the planet. Conclusion: the power of salt as a spiritual weapon. Salt's journey from the depths of the earth to its role as a spiritual weapon is a testament to its enduring power and significance. Across cultures and throughout history, salt has been revered for its purifying, protective, and grounding properties. Whether used in religious rituals, protective magic, or modern spiritual practices, salt remains a potent symbol of purity, wisdom, and the earth's hidden power. By understanding the spiritual significance of salt, we can harness its energy to protect, purify, and empower ourselves in our spiritual journeys. The hidden truth of salt lies not just in its physical properties, but in its deep connection to the earth and the spiritual realms, making it a truly powerful spiritual weapon. This exploration of salt's spiritual significance offers a glimpse into the profound impact that this humble mineral has had on human spirituality. As we continue to uncover the hidden truths of salt, we are reminded of the deep connections between the physical and spiritual worlds, and the ways in which natural substances like salt can bridge the gap between them. Salt's significance is not limited to one culture or religion. It has played a vital role in the spiritual practices of many societies around the world. In ancient Rome, for instance, salt was a symbol of loyalty and friendship. The phrase salarium, which refers to the money paid to Roman soldiers, is derived from sal, the Latin word for salt. This payment was often given in salt or money to buy salt, emphasizing its value. The importance of salt in Roman culture extended to religious rituals as well. In Japan, salt is a key element in Shinto rituals, used to purify and cleanse both people and spaces. Before entering a sacred place, Shinto practitioners often sprinkle salt to ward off evil spirits and invite positive energy. This practice reflects the deep-seated belief in salt's ability to purify and protect. Similarly, in Jewish culture, salt is an essential part of the Sabbath meal, where it is sprinkled on bread to symbolize the preservation of the covenant between God and the Jewish people. This act serves as a reminder of the enduring nature of spiritual commitments, preserved and protected by the power of salt. Salt in alchemy and esoteric traditions. In alchemical traditions, salt is one of the three prime substances, alongside mercury and sulfur. Alchemists believed that these three elements represented the building blocks of all matter, with salt symbolizing the physical body and the earthly plane. The process of refining salt in alchemy was seen as analogous to the purification of the soul, transforming base elements into something pure and holy. This belief in the transformative power of salt is echoed in many esoteric traditions, where salt is used in rituals aimed at spiritual purification and enlightenment. The Hermetic tradition, which heavily influenced alchemy, also recognized salt as a symbol of wisdom and stability. Salt was seen as the crystallized essence of spiritual knowledge, representing the materialization of divine wisdom in the physical world. In this context, salt was not just a substance, but a metaphor for the grounding and stabilization of spiritual energy. By incorporating salt into their practices, esoteric traditions sought to harness this grounding force, creating a balance between the spiritual and material realms. Salt as a tool for spiritual cleansing. The concept of spiritual cleansing with salt is rooted in the idea that salt, by its very nature, has the ability to absorb negative energies and impurities. This belief has led to the widespread practice of using salt in various forms to cleanse the body, mind, and environment. One common method is the salt bath, where individuals immerse themselves in water mixed with salt to cleanse their aura and wash away spiritual toxins. This practice is believed to not only purify the body, but also to recharge the spirit, restoring balance and harmony. Another method of spiritual cleansing with salt involves the use of salt scrubs, where salt is mixed with oils and herbs to create a paste that is then rubbed onto the skin. This process is thought to exfoliate both the physical and spiritual layers, removing dead skin cells and negative energies simultaneously. The symbolism of shedding old layers and emerging renewed is central to this practice, reflecting the transformative power of salt in spiritual cleansing. Salt can also be used to cleanse spaces, a practice that has been carried out for centuries. Sprinkling salt in the corners of a room or across thresholds is believed to create a protective barrier, preventing negative energies from entering. This practice is particularly common in cultures where the home is seen as a sacred space that must be protected from spiritual harm. By purifying the environment, salt helps to create a space where positive energy can thrive, free from the influence of negativity. The role of salt in healing practices. Salt has long been recognized for its healing properties, both physically and spiritually. In many traditional healing practices, salt is used to draw out impurities from the body and to promote healing. For example, salt poultices have been used for centuries to treat wounds and infections, taking advantage of salt's natural antiseptic properties. The use of salt in healing extends beyond the physical body to the spiritual realm, where it is believed to cleanse the soul and restore spiritual balance. In spiritual healing practices, salt is often used in combination with other elements, such as herbs or crystals, to enhance its healing properties. For instance, a common practice involves placing salt and crystals in a bowl of water to create a healing solution that is then used to cleanse the body or space. This combination is believed to amplify the cleansing and healing effects of salt, making it a powerful tool for spiritual restoration. The healing power of salt is also evident in practices such as sound therapy, where salt is used to create a grounding environment that enhances the therapeutic effects of sound vibrations. Salt, with its connection to the earth, helps to anchor the energy of the individual, allowing them to fully experience the healing potential of sound. This practice highlights the multifaceted role of salt as a healing agent capable of addressing both physical and spiritual ailments. Salt in the context of earth and nature. Salt's deep connection to the earth and nature is a key aspect of its spiritual significance. As a mineral that is naturally occurring and essential for life, salt represents the fundamental connection between humans and the earth. This connection is particularly evident in the way salt is harvested, often from the sea or deep within the earth, both of which are seen as sacred sources of life. In many indigenous cultures, salt is viewed as a gift from the earth, a substance that carries the energy and wisdom of the natural world. This belief is reflected in the rituals and ceremonies that honor the earth and its resources, with salt playing a central role in these practices. For example, in some Native American traditions, salt is used in ceremonies to honor the spirits of the earth and to seek their guidance and protection. The act of offering salt to the earth is seen as a way of giving thanks for its abundance and asking for continued blessings. The environmental aspect of salt is also significant in modern spiritual practices that emphasize sustainability and the connection to nature. The use of natural, unrefined salt in spiritual rituals is often preferred for its purity and its closer connection to the earth. This choice reflects a broader trend in spirituality that seeks to align with the natural world and to honor the earth's resources in a respectful and sustainable way. The ritualistic uses of salt in earth-based spirituality. Earth-based spiritual traditions often incorporate salt into their rituals as a symbol of the earth element. In these traditions, salt is used to represent the grounding and stabilizing forces of the earth, serving as a foundation for spiritual work. One common practice involves the creation of a salt circle, where salt is sprinkled in a circle on the ground to create a sacred space. This circle is believed to protect the practitioner from negative energies and to establish a connection to the earth. Salt is also used in earth-based rituals to consecrate and purify objects, such as crystals or tools used in spiritual practices. The process of consecration involves placing the object in salt or sprinkling it with salt water to cleanse it of any negative energies and to dedicate it to a specific purpose. This ritual emphasizes the purifying and protective properties of salt, as well as its ability to enhance the spiritual power of objects. Another ritualistic use of salt in earth-based spirituality is in the creation of altars and sacred spaces. Salt is often placed on altars as an offering to the earth and to the spirits of nature. It is believed that salt, with its connection to the earth, can help to ground the energy of the altar and to invite the presence of protective spirits. This practice highlights the role of salt as a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, connecting the practitioner to the earth and to the divine. The science of salt and its spiritual implications. While salt's spiritual significance is deeply rooted in cultural and religious practices, there is also a scientific basis for some of its perceived powers. The antiseptic and preservative qualities of salt are well documented, and these properties have been used throughout history in both practical and spiritual contexts. The ability of salt to preserve food, for example, can be seen as a metaphor for its ability to preserve and protect spiritual purity. The hygroscopic nature of salt, meaning its ability to absorb moisture, also has spiritual implications. In many cultures, salt's ability to absorb is believed to extend to the spiritual realm, where it can absorb negative energies and impurities. This scientific property of salt aligns with its use in rituals and practices that aim to cleanse and purify, further reinforcing its role as a spiritual weapon. Additionally, the crystalline structure of salt, particularly in its natural forms like rock salt or sea salt, is believed to hold and transmit energy. This belief is echoed in practices such as placing salt crystals in a space to cleanse and energize the environment. The structure of salt, with its orderly and stable form, is seen as a reflection of the order and stability that salt can bring to the spiritual and physical realms. The future of salt in spiritual practices. As spiritual practices continue to evolve, the use of salt remains a constant, reflecting its enduring power and versatility. In the modern spiritual landscape, where there is a growing emphasis on holistic and natural approaches, salt is likely to remain a key element in rituals and practices. The focus on sustainability and connection to the earth in contemporary spirituality further underscores the importance of natural substances like salt, which are both abundant and deeply connected to the natural world. In the future, we may see new interpretations and uses of salt in spiritual practices. Salt as a conduit between the physical and spiritual realms. The idea that salt serves as a conduit between the physical and spiritual realms is central to its role in spiritual practices across various cultures. This duality, salt as both a physical substance and a spiritual symbol, makes it a powerful tool for those seeking to bridge the gap between the material world and the divine. In ancient rituals, salt was often used to consecrate sacred spaces, objects, and individuals, creating a sanctified environment where spiritual energy could be more easily accessed and manipulated. In this context, salt's crystalline structure becomes more than just a physical characteristic. It is seen as a metaphysical quality that allows salt to hold and transmit energy. Crystals, by their very nature, are believed to have the ability to amplify spiritual energy, and salt, with its crystalline form, is thought to function similarly. This is why salt is often placed in altars, around homes, or even carried as a talisman, to act as a medium through which spiritual energy can flow, be it for protection, healing, or manifestation. Furthermore, salt's role as a conduit is not limited to spiritual energy alone. It also acts as a bridge between human intentions and the divine will. When used in rituals, the act of consciously engaging with salt, whether through sprinkling, bathing, or creating sacred circles, serves as a symbolic gesture of aligning oneself with divine forces. The very act of using salt in these ways is a form of communication with the divine, a way to manifest spiritual desires in the physical world. The role of salt in exorcism and banishing rituals. Salt's reputation as a purifier and protector has made it a central component in exorcism and banishing rituals throughout history. In many traditions, salt is believed to have the power to expel negative entities and energies from a person or place. This belief is rooted in the idea that salt's purity and its connection to the earth make it intolerable to malevolent spirits and harmful energies. As such, salt is often used to cleanse a space before a ritual, to seal a protective circle, or to anoint objects and individuals involved in the ritual. One common exorcism practice involves sprinkling salt in the four corners of a room or around the perimeter of a property. This is believed to create a barrier that prevents negative energies from entering and helps to drive out any that may already be present. In more intense rituals, salt may be combined with other protective elements, such as water, herbs, or sacred oils, each contributing its own properties to the overall effect. The effectiveness of salt in these rituals is often attributed to its symbolic representation of purity and the earth's stability. In some traditions, it is believed that because salt comes from the earth, it carries the earth's grounding and stabilizing energy, which can overwhelm and dispel chaotic or harmful spiritual forces. This grounding effect is also why salt is used to bind or seal a ritual, ensuring that any energies or entities that have been banished cannot return. The elemental nature of salt in spiritual practice. Salt's role in spiritual practice is deeply connected to its elemental nature. As a mineral, salt is a manifestation of the earth element, representing stability, grounding, and preservation. This connection to the earth is crucial in many spiritual traditions, where the earth element is seen as the foundation of all life and a source of strength and support. Salt, as a tangible embodiment of the earth element, carries these qualities into the spiritual realm, making it an essential tool for grounding and protection. However, salt is not solely associated with the earth element. Its relationship with water, from which it is often derived, such as sea salt, ties it to the water element as well. Water is symbolic of emotions, intuition, and purification, and when salt is dissolved in water, it is believed to enhance these qualities. This duality of salt, its connection to both earth and water, makes it a versatile spiritual tool, capable of balancing and harmonizing different energies. In rituals that involve invoking the elements, salt is often used to represent both the stability of earth and the cleansing power of water. For example, in some Wiccan traditions, a bowl of salt water is used to consecrate and purify a sacred space or to cleanse ritual tools. The act of mixing salt with water in these rituals symbolizes the union of earth and water, creating a powerful medium for spiritual work. This practice highlights the importance of understanding the elemental nature of salt and how it can be used to harness the energies of the natural world. The metaphysical properties of salt and its use in energy. Work beyond its symbolic and elemental associations, salt is believed to possess specific metaphysical properties that make it particularly useful in energy work. In Reiki and other forms of energy healing, salt is sometimes used in conjunction with crystals to enhance the healing process. For instance, a healer might place salt around a healing space or on the body of a client to draw out negative energy before channeling positive energy into the area. The salt acts as both a protective barrier and a purifying agent, ensuring that the healing energy can flow freely without interference from negative influences. Salt can also be used in personal energy work, such as when practicing meditation or grounding exercises. Placing a small bowl of salt nearby during meditation is believed to help anchor the practitioner's energy, preventing them from becoming too unrooted during deep states of consciousness. Additionally, meditating with salt or using it in a salt lamp can create a calming environment that promotes clarity and focus, making it easier to connect with higher spiritual frequencies. The connection between salt and the human body in spiritual practices. The relationship between salt and the human body is not only physical, but also spiritual. Salt is essential for many of the body's functions, including maintaining fluid balance, nerve transmission, and muscle function. In spiritual practices, this physical necessity of salt is often mirrored in its role as a sustainer of spiritual health and vitality. Just as the body needs salt to function properly, the spirit is believed to require the grounding and purifying energy of salt to remain balanced and protected. In some spiritual traditions, fasting with salt is a practice used to cleanse the body and spirit simultaneously. This involves consuming only water and salt for a period, allowing the body to detoxify while the salt helps to purify the spirit. This practice is based on the belief that by removing impurities from the physical body, the spiritual body is also cleansed, leading to a deeper connection with the divine. The use of salt in anointing rituals further emphasizes its connection to the body. In these rituals, salt is often mixed with oil and applied to the body to consecrate and protect the individual. This act of anointing with salt is seen as a way of infusing the body with divine energy, creating a sacred vessel that is protected from spiritual harm. The tactile experience of anointing with salt also serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of the body and spirit, highlighting the holistic nature of spiritual health. Salt in modern spiritual practices and the New Age movement. In the New Age movement, which encompasses a wide range of spiritual practices and beliefs, salt has found a prominent place as a tool for purification and energy work. Salt lamps, for instance, have become popular for their supposed ability to cleanse the air and promote positive energy in the home. These lamps, made from large chunks of salt, are believed to emit negative ions when heated, which can neutralize positive ions in the environment that are thought to contribute to stress and negative energy. Beyond salt lamps, many New Age practitioners use salt in various forms to cleanse their energy fields and their living spaces. Smudging with salt, for example, involves sprinkling salt around the perimeter of a room or across doorways and windowsills to create a protective barrier. This practice is rooted in the belief that salt can absorb and block negative energies, preventing them from entering the space. The New Age movement has also embraced the idea of salt as a tool for manifestation. In these practices, salt is often used in rituals designed to attract positive energy and manifest desires. For example, some practitioners will create a salt circle and meditate within it, focusing on their intentions and visualizing their desires coming to fruition. The salt is believed to act as a conductor, amplifying the practitioner's energy and intentions and sending them out into the universe. The esoteric significance of salt in sacred geometry and symbolism. Salt's crystalline structure is often compared to sacred geometry, the study of geometric patterns that are believed to have spiritual significance. The cubic shape of salt crystals is reminiscent of the square, a symbol of stability, balance, and the material world in sacred geometry. This connection to sacred geometry adds another layer of meaning to salt's use in spiritual practices, where it is seen not only as a physical substance, but also as a representation of divine order and harmony. In esoteric traditions, salt is sometimes associated with the concept of the philosopher's stone, a legendary alchemical substance that is said to grant immortality and the ability to transmute base metals into gold. The philosopher's stone is often depicted as a cube, symbolizing the perfection and stability that alchemists sought to achieve in both their spiritual and material work.